Welcome to Book Buzz Reviews and Summaries. Book Review: The Plant Paradox by Dr. Stephen Gundry. You've been told for years that whole grains are good for you, that tomatoes, beans, and cucumbers are essential staples of a healthy diet, that a big salad loaded with colorful vegetables is the ultimate symbol of wellness. But what if everything you thought you knew about healthy food was not just misleading, but dangerously wrong? Welcome to the mind-bending world of the plant paradox, where Dr. Stephen Gundry, a renowned cardiologist and former heart surgeon, challenges the very foundation of nutritional science and turns our conventional food wisdom completely on its head. From the very first page, Gundry's bold voice cuts through the noise of trendy diets and pseudo-wellness fads with one explosive revelation. Some of the foods we've been told are healthy might be slowly poisoning us from the inside out. That's not hyperbole, that's science, backed by clinical experience, patient stories, and evolutionary biology. Dr. Gundry pulls back the curtain on a class of proteins called lectins, which are found in many common foods: grains, legumes, nightshade vegetables, and even some fruits. These tiny proteins, he argues, are plant defense mechanisms designed not for your nourishment, but for their survival. They are invisible saboteurs, stealthily inflaming your gut, disrupting your hormones, and igniting autoimmune responses that lead to fatigue, weight gain, digestive issues, and chronic disease. But this is not just a fear-mongering health scare. This is a call to wake up, to become more curious, informed, and empowered about what we put into our bodies. As Gundry unpacks decades of medical practice, patient transformations, and cutting-edge nutritional research, he takes you on a fascinating journey from the gut microbiome to mitochondria, from ancient dietary wisdom to the root causes of inflammation. He explains why gluten is only the tip of the iceberg, and how lectins in foods like quinoa, zucchini, and even brown rice can wreak havoc on our bodies without us ever realizing it. And if you're thinking, great, another diet book that tells me to eat air and drink water, think again. Gundry doesn't just drop a bomb and walk away. He equips readers with a comprehensive action plan. The Plant Paradox Program, a food roadmap designed to heal your gut, reboot your immune system, and ignite real energy and sustainable weight loss. From eliminating the biggest lectin offenders to pressure cooking tricks that neutralize them, he gives us tools, not just warnings. But what makes this book truly stand out isn't just its groundbreaking science. It's the personal power it gives back to the reader. We live in a world where we are more bloated, exhausted, and inflamed than ever before. Our kitchens are filled with foods that wear a healthy disguise, while our bodies cry out in silent rebellion. The plant paradox isn't just about losing weight or curing disease. It's about reclaiming control. It's about being the scientist of your own body and the architect of your own wellness. Through the stories of real patients who went from wheelchairs to running marathons, from autoimmune agony to vitality and freedom, Gundry shows us what is possible when we dare to question the status quo. And there's a deeper message here, one that resonates far beyond food. Not everything that looks good is good for you. Not everything that is common knowledge is true. And not everything that has always been done should continue to be done. This is not a book for the passive reader. It's for the curious, the brave, the ones tired of battling mystery symptoms, and the ones yearning for a better way. It challenges, provokes, and empowers. It's the kind of book that forces you to open your fridge and your mind, both at once. So if you've been feeling like your body is fighting against you, if you've tried every clean eating plan with no real results, if you're ready to stop treating symptoms and start understanding the root cause, then the plant paradox is your roadmap to transformation, because sometimes the path to true health starts with asking, what if the problem isn't me, but the plants I've been told are helping me? 3 key takeaways. 1. Not all plant-based foods are healthy for everyone. Lectins, naturally occurring proteins in many plants, can disrupt digestion, damage the gut lining, and lead to chronic inflammation, autoimmune diseases, and weight gain in sensitive individuals. 2. Gut health is central to whole body health. Healing your gut by eliminating harmful lectins and feeding beneficial bacteria is the key to reducing inflammation, boosting energy, improving immunity, and achieving sustainable weight loss. 3. You have more control over your health than you think. By becoming aware of hidden dietary triggers and taking targeted action, you can transform your health, energy, and mindset, no matter your age, condition, or starting point. Takeaway 1. Not all plant-based foods are healthy for everyone. Unmasking the villains hidden in your vegetables. We've grown up worshiping vegetables like saints and treating whole grains like gold. Dietitians and media headlines have drilled it into our minds. Eat more plants. Plants are the answer to health. But what if some of the most praised plant-based foods are, in reality, wolves in sheep's clothing? Dr. Gundry's first and most provocative insight shatters this illusion with bold clarity. Not all plant foods are good for you, especially not if you're sensitive to lectins. The hidden defense system in plants. Plants, unlike animals, can't run, bite, or claw to protect themselves, but nature gave them another powerful tool: chemical warfare. One of the most insidious weapons in this arsenal is a group of proteins called lectins. Lectins are like microscopic landmines, hard to detect, difficult to digest, and devastating once they slip past our defenses. They bind to sugar molecules in your body, especially in the gut lining, disrupting communication between cells, poking holes in your intestinal wall, and inviting toxins and food particles into the bloodstream. This is the infamous leaky gut, a root cause of countless modern ailments: autoimmune diseases, chronic fatigue, joint pain, skin issues, mental fog, and yes, stubborn weight gain. And where do you find lectins? In many of the foods you've likely labeled superfoods, the betrayal of the healthy plate. Whole wheat bread, kidney beans, lectin central, tomatoes, zucchini, cucumbers, eggplants, members of the nightshade family loaded with lectins. Even quinoa, a darling of clean eating, contains compounds that can inflame sensitive systems. These foods may be high in vitamins and fiber, yes, but for some people, they're also time-release triggers of inflammation, digestive distress, and immune confusion. Dr. Gundry drives home an unsettling truth: what's healthy for one person may be toxic to another. Why you might be reacting and not even know it. Here's the twist: lectin damage is often silent at first. Unlike allergies, which produce immediate symptoms, lectin sensitivity might take years to manifest: a bloated stomach, creeping fatigue, brain fog after meals, or chronic acne. These signs might not seem related to food, but your gut remembers. It records every offense, and as the gut becomes inflamed, your immune system goes haywire, attacking your own tissues in confusion. That's how autoimmune disorders begin. That's how migraines, irritable bowel syndrome, and rheumatoid arthritis sneak into lives that seem otherwise healthy. This is the paradox. We eat salads and brown rice and feel worse. We cut calories, count macros, follow food pyramids, and still gain weight because we've been feeding ourselves healthy foods that are biologically hostile to our systems. The power of knowing. Once you learn about lectins, it's impossible to look at food the same way again. You begin to see your plate not just as fuel, but as information. Every bite is a signal to your body: heal or hurt, nourish or inflame. Dr. Gundry gives readers the power to decode those signals. He doesn't demonize all plant foods, but he teaches you to be selective, to recognize the plants that play well with your body, and avoid the ones that don't. He shows you how to deactivate harmful lectins by peeling, desting, fermenting, or pressure cooking, and more importantly, he invites you to listen to your body instead of blindly following nutrition dogma. The bigger lesson. This takeaway is more than dietary, it's philosophical. It teaches us that mainstream beliefs are not always aligned with truth, that tradition doesn't guarantee safety, that even a tomato, bursting with color and promise, can be a silent saboteur in disguise. Gundry empowers us to stop labeling food as good or bad based on popularity and start choosing it based on how our bodies actually respond. Because health isn't one size fits all, it's personal, it's biological, and sometimes the journey to true wellness begins not with addition, but with subtraction. Takeaway 2. Gut health is central to whole body health. Heal the gut, heal the life. Imagine a city. At its center lies the most crucial infrastructure, the power grid. Every building, every streetlight, every home depends on that energy. If it's compromised, the entire city begins to flicker and fail, even if, on the surface, it still looks fine. Now imagine your gut as that power grid, a hidden command center that fuels, supports, and protects every system in your body. Dr. Stephen Gundry's The Plant Paradox doesn't just dip its toe into the gut health conversation, it dives deep into the trenches and resurfaces with a transformative revelation. The root of most modern ailments, whether physical, mental, or emotional, is an unhealthy gut. Your gut, more than digestion. We've long thought of the digestive system as little more than a food processing pipe. Eat, digest, absorb, eliminate, end of story, right? Wrong. The gut is so much more. It is your second brain, home to 70 to 80% of your immune system, and a living ecosystem of over 100 trillion bacteria. These microorganisms, collectively known as the microbiome, are not just passengers, they are co-pilots. Working day and night to protect your health, they regulate your mood, your weight, your energy levels, your hormones, even your skin. They manufacture vital nutrients. They communicate with your brain via the vagus nerve and influence your immune responses. When the microbiome thrives, you thrive. When it's inflamed or disrupted, you suffer in ways you may not even realize. And guess what's causing much of that disruption? Lectins. How lectins wreak havoc on the gut. Lectins, those seemingly innocent plant proteins, can punch holes in the gut wall, allowing undigested food particles, toxins, and bacteria to enter the bloodstream. This condition, called intestinal permeability or leaky gut, is like opening the gates of your fortress to an invading army. Suddenly, your immune system is on red alert, attacking not only the invaders, but sometimes your own tissues. This is how chronic inflammation is born. This is how autoimmune diseases take root. This is how allergies, anxiety, acne, depression, arthritis, and even Alzheimer's may begin. Dr. Gundry draws a straight line from what's on your plate to what's happening in your joints, your brain, your skin, and your heart, and the common thread, your gut. Real stories, real healing. One of the most powerful aspects of the plant paradox is how it turns this theory into living proof. Gundry shares story after story of patients who had struggled for years, decades even, with migraines, fibromyalgia, depression, irritable bowel syndrome, and other mysteries of modern medicine. They had tried everything. Medications, surgeries, therapy, detoxes, nothing worked until they healed their gut by following Gundry's program, removing lectin-rich foods, repairing the gut lining, and repopulating the microbiome. These patients didn't just get better, they transformed. They reclaimed energy, clarity, mobility, and joy they hadn't felt in years. They didn't just lose weight. They lost pain. They didn't just reduce symptoms. They reversed disease. And that's the ultimate takeaway. When you heal the gut, the body follows. The gut-brain connection. But Gundry doesn't stop at the physical. He zooms in on the emotional and mental toll of gut inflammation. There's now overwhelming evidence linking gut health to brain health. Ever had a gut feeling? That's real. Ever felt foggy after eating certain meals? That's your gut signaling distress. Serotonin, the feel-good chemical, is mostly produced in your gut, not your brain. Your emotional resilience, mental clarity, and ability to manage stress are tied directly to your digestive health. That lingering anxiety, that irritability, fatigue, or low-grade sadness, it may not be your mind. It may be your gut microbes screaming for help. Rebuilding the gut, the path to real health. Gundry arms the reader with a toolkit to rebuild the gut from the inside out, eliminate harmful lectins that poke holes in the gut lining, introduce gut-friendly foods like leafy greens, resistant starches, and healthy fats, use targeted supplements like prebiotics and polyphenol to feed good bacteria, adopt cooking methods that neutralize lectins, pressure cooking, peeling, fermenting. This isn't a diet, it's a healing protocol, a return to biological harmony. And when your gut is happy, you think clearer, you sleep deeper, your skin glows, your waist shrinks, your immune system becomes a fortress, your body becomes a vessel of vitality, not just survival. A radical new perspective. What Gundry offers isn't just nutrition advice, it's liberation from the silent suffering that millions endure. It's a new lens through which to view every ache, every bloated belly, every rash or mood swing, not as an isolated issue, but as a signal from your gut. We're not broken, we're inflamed, and inflammation is not a life sentence. It's a warning sign we can heal in a world full of band-aid solutions. The plant paradox gives us something rare, a blueprint to treat the cause, not the symptoms, and it all starts with the gut, the most underestimated hero of human health. So if you want to thrive, not just exist, start listening to your gut, because behind every imbalance lies a deeper truth. And now, you finally have the key to unlock it. Heal the gut, and you just might heal everything. Takeaway 3. You have more control over your health than you think. Break free from the illusion of helplessness and step into empowered healing. Picture this. You're sitting in a sterile doctor's office, surrounded by lab results, prescriptions, and medical jargon. The doctor leans in with a sympathetic look and says, "It's genetic," or "It's just part of aging," or "There's no cure. You'll just have to manage it." You nod because you trust authority. You go home, pop the pills, and try to carry on, but deep down, a part of you whispers, there has to be more. Then that whisper, that gut feeling that you aren't meant to live in constant pain, fog, fatigue, or fear. Dr. Stephen Gundry says, "You're absolutely right in the plant paradox." The third and perhaps most liberating lesson is this: you are not a victim of your DNA, your diagnosis, or your doctor's opinion. You are a participant in your own health, and you have more power than you've been led to believe. The myth of medical determinism. Modern medicine has done incredible things, yes, but it has also created a subtle form of learned helplessness. We're taught that if something goes wrong in our bodies, the only answer is a drug, a surgery, or simply accepting the decline. We're told our genes dictate our fate. We're taught to treat symptoms, not causes. Gundry rips the curtain away from this passive narrative and reveals a truth that is both thrilling and terrifying. Your choices, especially what you eat, matter more than your genetics. In fact, the plant paradox explains that genes may load the gun, but environment pulls the trigger, and food is the biggest environmental factor you can control. Epigenetics, the power to rewrite your future. Enter the science of epigenetics, a field that proves our genes aren't static. They respond dynamically to what we eat, how we move, how we sleep, and how we feel. Eat foods filled with harmful lectins, sugar, and processed additives. You're turning on genes for inflammation, disease, and fat storage. Eat anti-inflammatory, gut healing, microbiome-supporting foods. You're flipping on genes for vitality, clarity, and longevity. This means that you can change your biological destiny with the contents of your next meal, and Gundry doesn't just say this, he shows it. From disease to destiny. Real stories of transformation. In his clinics, Gundry has helped thousands of patients reverse conditions deemed incurable. People bedridden with autoimmune diseases are walking again. Patients with chronic migraines, depression, high blood pressure, and obesity have ditched their medications and embraced lives of freedom, all by changing what they put on their plate. These are not anomalies. These are proof of a profound principle. Your body wants to heal. It is not your enemy. It's your most loyal ally, but first you must stop assaulting it unknowingly with foods that harm. Then, you must nourish it with foods that love you back. It's like turning on a light in a room you didn't even know was dark. From confusion to clarity. Today's health landscape is overwhelming. Keto, vegan, paleo, raw, intermittent fasting. Everyone's shouting. Few are explaining. What Gundry offers is clarity, rooted in science, backed by experience, and infused with empathy. He gives you a roadmap, not just a rulebook. No starvation, no shame, just an invitation to take responsibility, guided by knowledge and supported by results. He breaks complex science into digestible insights. He shows you what to avoid, but also what to embrace. He encourages you to experiment, observe, and evolve because, as he says, you are the world's leading expert on you. Freedom, not fear. This takeaway isn't just about food. It's about agency. It's about remembering that your body is not broken. It's brilliantly adaptive. It's about realizing that you are not powerless. You are the CEO of your health. No, you may not control every gene, every past choice, or every environmental factor, but you can control what you eat today. You can decide to protect your gut, feed your microbiome, and reduce inflammation. You can choose healing, clarity, and energy, and once you reclaim that power, you'll stop chasing quick fixes, you'll stop fearing aging, you'll stop outsourcing your vitality to pills and professionals who don't live in your body. A call to action. This isn't about becoming orthorexic or paranoid. It's about becoming aware. It's about reconnecting to your body's signals and realizing you're in an ongoing dialogue with your biology. You're not fragile, you're not doomed, you're adaptive, intelligent, and powerful, and that power begins on your plate. So the next time you feel like your health is slipping, when your energy drops, your mood crashes, or the scale won't budge, don't ask, "What's wrong with me?" Ask, "What can I change?" Because in the world of the plant paradox, health is not a mystery to fear. It's a system you can master, and the key to unlocking that system has been in your hands all along. You have more control over your health than you've ever imagined. Now it's time to use it. Read the book to learn more. Thanks for listening to Book Buzz reviews and summaries.